Okay, so welcome back. We are now going to be installing GAM on macOS. Now, I don't actually have my own Mac, and so what we've actually done is we've signed up for a free trial. No credit cards are required, with a company called Mac Mini Vault, and they are run by a company called Cyberlink, and I'm going to put the link in the description. Check them out. I have no affiliation with them, but if you do need to test anything on a Mac, you can sign up for a trial, and they're not the quickest. I signed up in, let's say, February, and they reached out in March and said, do you want to, are you ready to do your trial now? And so, but it does allow me to work on a Mac for 24 hours and test out things like this. So we're now going to be installing the advanced GAM. So I've gone to this page, which is the downloads page, and let's see. And we've got this over here, Linux and Mac and Google Cloud Shell, and we're going to be installing these into the home administrator. Okay, so it assumes that you've already installed this into users admin bin GAM advanced XTD3. So let's go to the downloads and let's see how we do this. You can go to the GitHub releases page, and over here we can do a terminal and we can execute the following. We've got a couple of options. Under here we've got a new install and a default path, which is home and bin. New install path, and if you want to specify a path, if you want to update to the latest version, but you don't want to create a project or authorizations, you go here, and then update to the latest versions, and you don't want to create a project or authorizations, and you want to specify a path. Okay, so let's just do the first one over here. Let's just copy that, and I'm in my terminal here, which I've just made a bit bigger. Let's paste that in and push enter. We want to install, agree. Now, obviously, depending on the speed of your internet and the speed of your computer, this can take from anywhere from an hour to a couple of seconds. Perfect. Okay, now in preparing for this video, I've tested this a couple of times to make sure this actually does work. So what I want to go through on this now is we need to actually see whether or not we can actually do things in here. So over here, it says here, set a configuration directory. And under this configuration directory, we're going to add this line to the files that are based on your shell. Now with Mac, we are looking at the Z shell. If you've got an older version of Mac or even some versions of Linux, you might have Bash, you might have the profile. So depending on how you're going to do this, we are going to do this with this. Okay, so I'm just going to open up a new terminal. Okay, and we are going to go into this one. So I'm going to say nano and then a tilde. So I'm going to copy this whole thing because I'm not actually using a Mac over here. And my tilde doesn't really work on my computer. So I'm going to say nano and push enter on that. Doing the install actually adds this line to your Z shell file. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to add this one over here, that, and say copy. And let's just paste that there. And now to save it, I'm going to do Control X, push Y, and then push enter. Okay, so that's updated. If you look over here, it says here we need to make a GAMConfig directory. And then further down here, we need to make a GAMWork directory. So let's open up the Finder. And let's just make a GAMConfig directory first. Let's copy that. And we're going to put it into the same folder. And we're going to make a GAMWork directory as well. So let's copy that and paste that in. Now, that's fine. What I've actually just realized is I'm being stupid here. So let's go back into the nano of this. And what you'll see is that we're actually in users administrator with a full administrator, then bin. And over here under export, I need to type in administrator like that, then Control X, then Y, then enter. Okay. So now that that is all set up, let's see what we're going to do here. It says that it would like us to set an alias. And as you remember, in the nano, we actually had this alias already. We don't remember. Let's just go back into that. And you see over here, it says alias GAM, and then users administrator bin, XTD3, and then finally GAM. So that's all done. Okay, so I can just exit out of that. Perfect. Now we're going to initialize the GAMXTD3, and then we should be able to go from there. So we need to be in this directory, C drive users admin bin gam. So let's just do an ls of this. So let's go cd bin, and then we are going to GAMXTD3, and let's go into that one, and let's just do an ls again. And inside here, we've got gam. So let's run this command over here, .gam config gam. Now what you'll notice is this is actually not going to work. Let me just paste it in there, because over here, we need to make sure it says administrator. That. So what it's actually saying is that there's a hidden folder called .gam, and we're going to configure this to be the GAMWork folder, and then we're going to verify it. So let's push enter on that, and then you'll see all of these things are happening. And we're down at the bottom now. Now we're going to verify the installation, and we can just copy this. Just copy that. And it says a total of 40, which seems good. If you don't have a browser, you could obviously use the no browser, but we are going to actually do this now. So let's go back to this original thing, and let's run this. So we're going to say yes. And we're going to say yes. And we've got admin at tamingGSuite.com. Okay, because I'd already tried this again, it says that I had some files left over. So I'm just going to go through this again and push yes on this again. Wants me to sign in, so I'm going to say allow. Okay, so now it's asking me to go to this URL. So let's just copy that. Okay, and over here it says choose desktop, enter GAM, create on the blue button, and then copy your client ID. Okay, so we're going to do desktop app. And I'm going to say GAM macOS, and I've actually done this already, so I'm going to say number 2 this time, and I say create. Copy my client ID, push enter, and copy the client secret, push enter. It says that it's, the project has been created, so let's push yes. All these ones with a little star next to mean that it's going to be created. All the ones with without the star, like this one, the pub and the reseller, means it's not. So if you want to have all of them selected, you can just push S, but I'm actually just going to push C right now just to continue, and push enter. I'm going to click over here. These are all the different scopes that you've just accepted to on the previous screen with all those little stars. So I'm going to say allow. Are you ready? And we're going to say yes. What's a regular workspace user? So I'm going to see Michael at tamingGSuite.com, like that. Okay, so all of them are failing, which is fine. We now need to go into here, and we're going to grab this whole URL all the way down to there, copy that, and let's just paste on that one. Okay, so now you can see I've actually done this a couple of times. This is what we're going to authorize. Okay, and then it says here, are you ready to try again? I'm going to say yes. Okay, and it looks like it's basically set up now. So you can either restart your terminal, or if you want to actually just try everything right now, you can just copy this code. I'm going to copy that and say paste, push enter. And then if we go GAM and we say info domain, push enter, we will see that it actually has started running. So now let's go and look in the Finder and actually see what's been created. I've got the hidden files shown over here, which is the shift, command, and period. And if you push it a couple of times, it enables it. So you've got the .gam here, which is the private, the hidden files. So if you need to move this to another Mac computer, or if you need to run it on Windows or on Linux, you can copy all of the things from here, and this will actually allow you to move it to another computer, especially the client secrets, the OAuth, and the OAuth 2, I think, is the main ones. And then you can actually install on another computer without having to go through all these steps again. But I hope that helps. Let's now, if you want to test it on Windows or on Linux, please go through those tutorials as well. Otherwise, let's start actually getting into it now and actually starting to work. Thanks so much.